Have you ever wondered why life sometimes feels so hard, almost like you're in a war? Well, the reality is you are. And Jesus alerts us to this when he teaches us to pray every single day in the Lord's Prayer. Lord, lead us not into temptation. That's the internal war and that's the internal battle that's going on. But deliver us from evil. Some translations say, but deliver us from the evil one. Now, this idea of being in a spiritual war may freak some of you out, and sometimes it's easier to ignore. But listen to what Paul says about this in Ephesians 6 verses 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. So let's look at a number of points that can help us engage in this every single day. Number one, ask God to make you aware of the spiritual battle going on around you. Every time you engage in people, in conversation, in emails, go to work or come home, engage in a victory or engage in a struggle, ask God to make you aware in what He is doing around you. Number two, Jesus has won the battle. You do not need to be afraid. Jesus is victorious. Jesus is sovereign. This means that He is in control. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that this is an equal battle. Jesus has won. Number three, we have no power and all the power simultaneously. On your own, you do not have what it takes to fight against this dark world. But in Jesus Christ, the Bible tells us we have the same power that was at work in Jesus when He was risen from the dead in us. And number four, fast and pray. Jesus gave this to us in prayer. If we are going to engage in a spiritual battle, we do it by fasting and by praying. We are declaring our dependency upon God and not upon ourselves. Guys, this is going on around you whether you acknowledge it or not. So let's RSVP to God's invitation to be involved in this. And guys, one last thing just about this entire prayer series. It's been an absolutely wonderful time together. And I hope that you have been able to dig deeper roots into who God is and what He has for you in your life and in the world around you. This is one of the greatest investments that you can make, learning how to pray. As I said earlier, declaring your dependency daily upon God and not on the things that you see or even on your own resources. So let's do this and let's fight with God.